Well, hello there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library. And Ellen and I are here today to talk to you about a couple books that we absolutely love that are perfect to read for Pride Month. We're still in the middle of June. We're just actually, today's the first day of summer, so happy summer. But we're still in the middle of June, so we wanted to talk about a few more books that had to do with Pride if you're looking for a really great book to support the LGBTQ community this month. So I really couldn't narrow down. I had one of two that I wanted to talk about today, and I couldn't narrow it down to just one, so I decided to talk about both of them. There's only so many weeks during this month, and I had to really try to narrow down which books to talk about. And I couldn't decide between these two, so I decided we're going to talk about both. So they're very different stories by authors that I absolutely love. That is one thing that definitely connects them, is that these books are written by authors who have previously written books for a younger crowd. And these are actually, both of these books are their adult debuts. So that's really cool. So this first one is by Nina Lacour, and this is Yerba Buena. This cover is just absolutely to die for. I love the colors of it. And like I said, she has written quite a few young adult books, all of which are phenomenal. I've read almost all of them. I think there might be maybe one or two that I've missed, but I've read a majority of them and absolutely love them. So I was really, really looking forward to her adult debut. So what is this book about? This is basically a slice of life story of literary fiction that has to do with these two women who connect with each other and basically heal from their past, baggage and trauma that they've experienced. So you've got Sarah, who ran away from home when she was 16 after her girlfriend died. So her girlfriend died of a drug overdose, and was found in the lake near their home. She couldn't deal with it. She couldn't heal, so she ran away. She carves a life out of herself one day at a time. Basically, from that point on, becoming really, really great at designing these different cocktails. So she has this knack for creating these different and unique cocktails. And eventually, years later, after she starts doing this, she begins working as a bartender at this really high-class, upscale bar called Yerba Buena. So Emily is the other main character in this, and she is a girl who kind of is like, can't really commit to anything. So she's been going to school for a while now. She keeps changing her major. She's not really sure what she wants to do. She's one of the oldest people in her classes now because she just keeps going back. She keeps changing jobs. She just really doesn't know what she wants out of life. Well, she starts working for a flower shop who does arrangements for this restaurant, Yerba Buena. And when she starts going to this restaurant more often, she actually starts to have an affair with the married owner, which is disastrous, of course, as you would expect. So when Emily and Sarah finally connect at this restaurant, and they connect over this drink that Sarah has concocted called the Yerba Buena, the spark between them is just undeniable. So the problem is, though, they both have pasts and histories full of trauma and unresolved issues that they have to try to work through to be able to come together and meet at a place where they're both healthy enough and, ready and willing to be in a relationship. So there's a lot of things going on in this book. I will say there would be a trigger warning. There is a sexual assault in it that Sarah experiences that is very devastating to her. She's also getting over the death of her friend. Drug abuse is a huge aspect of this book because the town that Sarah grew up in has a really, really big problem with drug addiction. Her girlfriend died of it. Her mother died of it. Her brother, she finds out years later when she reconnects with him, is now selling drugs. So there's a lot going on in this story to deal with, but when you get down to it, it's just a really beautiful story about these two women falling in love and basically finding each other. Really great story. The dialogue was fantastic. I liked it so much, and I really liked both the characters as well. Particularly Sarah. I thought she was just really awesome and strong and such a survivor. But if you're looking for a really great, it's not a very long read either. It's just a really great little story. Yerba Buena. So the other one I want to talk about is very different in tone. Yerba Buena was a little bit on the more serious side. The next one is a little bit more funny. So if you're looking for a romantic comedy, this is a great one. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Now, Ashley Herring Blake has written a few different stories for the tween and children areas that are really phenomenal. I've read them and I've loved them. So when I saw she was writing an adult series, I was super excited. So this is the very first one in it, and it has to do with Delilah Green, who swore to herself she was never going to go back to the town that she grew up in. So it's a little bit of like a Cinderella story. So she had a great relationship with her father, who, after her mother is gone, married this woman who Delilah just could not connect with, and then her dad died. So now Delilah is left growing up with this stepmother and her stepsister, who she just could not be more different from. So they're kind of estranged, and then now it's years later, Delilah is an adult, and Astrid, the stepsister, reaches out to her, wanting her to be her photographer for her wedding. So despite saying she was never going back, she goes back, and chaos ensues. So this book, I laughed so much throughout this book. It was absolutely hilarious, because basically what happens is Delilah connects with one of Astrid's best friends, Claire, who she knew growing up, but they never really, talked or anything. And they basically have this spark between them. And so she has to team up with Claire and one of her other besties to try to save Astrid from her fiance, who is kind of a jerk. He is just absolutely the worst. Every scene that he was in, I just wanted to tear my hair out because he was awful. So first of all, Delilah, when she first goes back, starts doing all these things to kind of upset, things and insert chaos into the wedding, because that's what she's good at. But then as she, sees what Astrid is going through, and she starts to hear things from Astrid's point of view about their childhood, she realizes that there was more going on in the background that she knew, and that maybe it's not too late to have a relationship with her stepsister. Her stepmother is the worst, so no, that's probably not going to happen, but her and Astrid have a lot of healing to do. And that's another thing I really liked about this book, is that yes, it's a rom-com, yes, it's hilarious, yes, it's shenanigans from cover to cover, but there's also a lot of really heavy character development in here as well, particularly between Astrid and Delilah, where they are working out their differences, coming together, and just starting to create this relationship that, they should have had when they were younger, but they didn't, but they're getting it now. This book is absolutely phenomenal. If you're looking for a great, hilarious read that's got romance, it's got hilarity, it's got chaos, and it's got a lot of really great character development, this is a really wonderful one to do. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Love this book. Well, that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that these sound really interesting and fun. If so, please feel free to check them out from Farmington Community Library. Also, don't forget to sign up for summer reading if you haven't yet. Summer reading is not just for the younger kids, right? It's for adults too. So you can sign up at www.farmlib.readsquare.com. Lots of great stuff there. And please give this video a like. Really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of the day.